When working for a large organization with many users and devices, you'll use groups to manage your resources. Let's quickly review why we use groups, the group types available, and then look at troubleshooting groups. You can band together users and devices into groups who require the same permissions or configuration. You'll then assign permissions to these groups, which is far more efficient than assigning permissions to multiple individual users or devices. A powerful feature of groups is that when users or devices join or are assigned to a group, they will inherit all the permissions of that group. Within Azure Active Directory, there are several different types of group available, and also different types of group membership that you can use. When creating a new group within Azure Active Directory, you can create either a security group or an Office 365 group. A security group is used to manage access to resources such as files and apps. An Office 365 group is a special type of group used by users who share access to collaboration resources such as a Microsoft team, shared mailboxes, calendars, files, and SharePoint online sites. You can also provide access for external users to these group resources. There are two different membership types available for Azure AD groups. These can be assigned or dynamic. Assigned is where members are manually added to a group, for example by an administrator using the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, or by the group owner of an Office 365 group. With dynamic groups, you can specify a set of rules that assign members to them. For example, if a user's or device's attributes meets the terms of the rules of the group, then they're dynamically added to the group, or if they no longer meet the rule requirements, they're dynamically removed. Let's now look at how to troubleshoot some of the most common problems with Azure Active Directory groups. You may find after creating dynamic groups that members are not being added. If this happens, you can check that there are actual users or devices with the correct attributes that will match your rules, or that you've created your rules correctly. You can use the Azure Active Directory Admin Center to check the membership processing status for your rules and amend any processing errors. The list of different possible statuses is shown on screen, including a processing error status. If you receive a processing error status, you should review the components of your rule, as it's likely that there is an error in the rule itself. When using dynamic groups, you can create dynamic groups for devices or dynamic groups for users, but you cannot mix users and devices in a dynamic group. Because you can use a combination of membership types and group types, you need to ensure that you can select the correct combination and understand the ramifications. For example, you may create an Office 365 group for Microsoft Teams with data stored in SharePoint Online. Users will have access to the Teams site within SharePoint Online as allocated by the Office 365 group. You may then lock down or restrict access to specific folders within the SharePoint Online by using a security group. Finally, if you're managing groups for a large organization, then you may see a max group allowed error. This will occur when trying to create a new dynamic group because there is a hard limit of 5,000 dynamic groups per tenant.